Former great Australian cricket all-rounder Keith Miller was always pretty keen on the races. In fact, it was said that on the day that Australia made a record 721 against Essex, Keith Miller got out deliberately because he was bored and he wanted to go to the races. Well, Keith has adopted an idea that they have in England, that you mow a track across the finish line. He's been trying to get them to do it in Australia. Rosehill is one of the clubs that has adopted what Keith is calling the Miller line. Tappy, I guess it helps the punters and I guess also the race callers as well.
Yes, Ian, I don't know that I'm 100% conscious of it because I'm tending to look more at their noses when they go to the line in close finishes. But to the people sitting in the stand at Rosehill, it most assuredly is some indication of the angle. Now, looking at your monitor right now, it looks quite true mathematically, but if you're sitting in either the old members stand or the new J.R. Fleming stand at Rosehill, believe me, the angle is a most acute one. In fact, most race courses you'll find the home straight and the grandstand seem to run parallel to one another. Not the case at Rosehill. They're at about a 45-degree angle, and it is without a doubt the most treacherous angle to view the finish of a race of any track that I've seen in Australia. And yet looking at it there, it didn't look too bad. But the freshly mown strip across the track gives you some indication. Well, here's a bloke who knows the Rosehill angle backwards because he's been coming here for a day or two. Kenny Callender.
Been coming here for a long while, John. What Ian said about Keith Miller's pretty right. I've run into Keith at places like Kembla Grange of a Tuesday, and I've run into him at the English Derby. He's still the happy-go-lucky fella having a bet wherever he is. So if there was an idea about racing, he'd more than likely be the one to pick it up. Let's look at these prices. Zemakima is at 6-1, being quite well supported. Number 2, My Kind of Girl, out to 11-2. Regal Prize, the horse I've tipped, is at 4-1. 9-1 now, Baguana Princess. 40-1, Lost Gold. Constant Kingdom, favourite in the ring. It's come in on the tote now to about 3-1. We're showing way overs on the tote early, but we knew that wouldn't hold up. It's now at 3-1. Gerard's out a point to 11-2. 2 scratchings, 16-1 Quartet, 14-1 now Rossellini, and 20-1 Double Connection. 2 scratchings and 10 to run. My tip, Regal Prize. Here's Johnny.
OK, Ken, beautiful, sparkling, clear day earlier at Rosehill, but a couple of big black beauties have rolled in the last hour or so, and it's looking pretty threatening again overhead. Breeze has freshened slightly. The track originally heavy this morning, but that was amended to slow before the running of the first race, believe it or not. Well, there's the man they call the Enforcer, Mick Dittman, just sneaking out of camera's range in the dark blue and green colours. That's Zemakima in the yellow with the orange diamond. Now, he's won only 2 races, Zemakima, and yet he's burdened with 57.5 kilos. He seems to be weighted right up to his best. As a matter of fact, probably over it. The handicapper must have quite an opinion of him. Constant Kingdom moved in there with the number 6 saddlecloth. He is the weight horse of the field. Now, Constant Kingdom and Regal Prize and Zemakima are the last 3 to move up into line, and they appear to be all set and ready for a start now in race 4. The official on the course proper will lower that white flag when the field jumps away, and they'll travel 50 or 60 metres before coming into view. There might still be one out. One of the runners in barrier 8 appeared to rear and may have got his forelegs over into the adjoining stall momentarily. I think it was Constant Kingdom. Constant Kingdom was indisposed momentarily in the starting gates. He straddled the adjoining stall. They've got him back on all 4s again. And his rider, Noel Barker, is about to remount. He's been taken out of the gates now, Constant Kingdom. He'll probably undergo a quick veterinary check. And there's Noel Barker jumping out back of the gates, getting down onto the ground. Is he limping slightly, or was that my imagination? Oh, no, he's OK. Noel rode a mare called Round the World in the Hill Stakes, the previous race, and she was the medium of a colossal plunge on course, firming from 12s to 4s, and ran last of 4 runners. To say punters were slightly astray is an understatement. Now, Constant Kingdom is undergoing a veterinary check out behind the line. Lot to like about this horse. He's done very little racing to date. 4 starts for 1 win and a couple of placings. But he looks a horse. I like him a lot. He stands up nicely, stands over plenty of ground, got a nice way of going. And he's an unknown quantity on rain-affected ground. He's been on a dead track on one occasion, but never a slow or heavy one. Now, there are 2 out. What's that one? Number 3, Saddlecloth. That horse is Regal Prize, also taken out. Now, I'll bet he was drawn right next door to Constant Kingdom in the gates. Constant Kingdom's 4 legs may have even contacted Regal Prize when he straddled the stall. So they've checked both horses out. Now, Constant Kingdom and Regal Prize were both taken out of the stalls for a quick veterinary examination, and apparently they're 100% and have been repositioned. Constant Kingdom, Regal Prize back in the gates, and the starter should be able to get them underway now. 2,000 metres the journey, race 4. Go at any second. Rosehill Racecourse, Sydney, New South Wales, right in the middle of probably Sydney's biggest industrial area. A beautiful racetrack, quite incongruously surrounded by smokestacks. Off and running. Away they go, and they'll be in view in just a moment. And here they come racing into view, and Gerard is the leader, clear of My Kind of Girl and Begorna Princess, out deep early as Regal Prize. And then Quartet and Double Connection, followed by Constant Kingdom and Zama Kima. Lost Gold is second last when they settle down, and dropping out to be last of all is Rossellini. Gerard's rider is not desperate to be in front. He grabbed hold of that horse and allowed Regal Prize on the outside to lead him now. And Regal Prize took over going to the back and draws out by a length and a half or more to Gerard. A length and a half, Begorna Princess on the fence. In the middle is Quartet. Zama Kima is parked out 3 and 4 wide as they go down the back, followed by My Kind of Girl, and then Double Connection, and well back Constant Kingdom and Rossellini, and Lost Gold is last of all. Some of these horses are racing well away from the fence as they go down the back straight to the 1200 mark. This leader, trying to get his head up in the air now, is racing very erratically in front. Regal Prize in front by more than a length to Gerard. Begorna Princess is third. Now Zama Kima is cruising along 3 and 4 horses wide. At the head of the others then came Quartet, followed by Double Connection. Constant Kingdom is the best part of 4 wide now. At the head of the others, My Kind of Girl, followed by Rossellini, and Lost Gold is last as they approach the 800 mark. And Regal Prize in front by a length and a half on Gerard. Running third, Begorna Princess. Now Zama Kima wants to drop the bit. He's being niggled a bit now by Duffy as they come down the side. Further back is Constant Kingdom, and then Double Connection. Over on the fence, My Kind of Girl, followed by Rossellini and Quartet. And Lost Gold is back at the tail as they come around the turn. The leader's travelling comfortably. Regal Prize straightened up nicely clear of Gerard, followed by Zama Kima under some pressure, and then Begorna Princess, and further back Double Connection. My Kind of Girl getting a rails run, but in the straight 300 out, and Regal Prize is the leader. Gerard trying to get to it. Zama Kima is plodding on, followed by Begorna Princess and Constant Kingdom under heavy pressure, but the leader is kicked away now. Regal Prize full of running, 100 metres out. Zama Kima, Gerard running on. Constant Kingdom getting warmed up in the last bit, but Regal Prize is going to lead all the way and win. Regal Prize first, I think Zama Kima second, Gerard third, then Begorna Princess and Constant Kingdom, My Kind of Girl, Rossellini, and then Lost Gold and Quartet, and Double Connection is back at the tail. Stand by for numbers on race 4. The winner is Regal Prize, giving Mick Dittman a double in consecutive races. Regal Prize on the TAB, $2.45 and 95, $2.45 and 95. Now, I think Zama Kima, who looked beaten 14 times in the straight, has kept kicking to get second. On the place tote, he'll pay $1.25, and third, Gerard, number 7, on the place tote, 95 cents. Okay, so Mick Dittman has won consecutive races on Natural Habit and Regal Prize. Okay, highlights of the Sandown 500 next on Wide World of Sports.
A lot of rain in the last couple of days in Sydney, so Johnny Tapp, I reckon the punters would have had to do a lot of research before they headed out to Rosehill today. Yeah,
I'll say, mate, research has got a big hope in the race coming up. Gee, the weather's eerie. I can see the sun shining over towards the Harbour Bridge, and yet at Rosehill, a big black cloud overhead, a quick scud, and what looked to be some sort of a dervish, a whirling dervish down where Kenny Callender is, and you were in trouble there for a stride, mate. You braced yourself?
If I weren't, I thought you weren't going to get to me. If I don't hurry up here, I'm going to get very, very wet from the top. Grey Fee is scratched. I'll turn this board back round. Research is at 7-4, but it's shorter in the ring. 11-8 Glenview. Atalanta's Way scratched. 5 Paris Miss. 12 Pagan Dance. 20 Shalaya. 20 Treetop Creek. 16 Sada Success. The others are big odds. My tip is Glenview, and I've got to go or I'm going to get very wet.
Well, they don't make them any tougher than Kay Callender. He was going to get that tote call onto Wide World of Sports if it's the last thing he did. This is the most eerie The most eerie sight I've seen in a long, long time. I kid you not, I can actually see the sun glinting on the skyscrapers in near the city. I can see the harbour bridge. The sun is definitely shining over there, and yet at Rosehill it is coming down in 5-ton truckloads. In fact, I thought it was hail for a second, so big are the raindrops. And a real whirling dervish of a wind at the same time. And, well, you could see the trouble Ken was in there momentarily. But he's now ducked for cover as the fillies move in for the Tea Rose Stakes. Gee, I'm flat out seeing the colours over there at the moment. Visibility rock bottom. We might have time to pick up the closing stages of race 5 run at Moonee Valley just a short time ago. Let's see how the weather is in Melbourne.
As they come up towards the home turn, 450 left to go. Testimony being tackled by Disputed Pearl on the outside, and wider on the track, Prismatic Star joining in with a good runner. They're followed by Cameronic. Just behind them, Stewart's Event and Zephyr Khan as they round the home turn and they straighten up. Prismatic Star on the outside has taken the lead now. Disputed Pearl is under the whip. Testimony beaten. Cameronic finishing on strongly down the outside and wider out to Stewart's Event. It's Prismatic Star being headed by Cameronic with about 100 metres left to go, and Cameronic coming away. Cameronic goes on to score by a length in advance of Prismatic Star. Stewart's Event is third, then Disputed Pearl, Zephyr Khan.
John Russell's call, race 5 at Moonee Valley, where the weather's a lot better than it is in Sydney. Certainly settled in Sydney today. We've had 4 seasons in one. Very Sail to Success looks to be the one we're waiting on, and they'll be set for a start in the Tea Rose Stakes. This is named after a great little filly of the 1940s who beat the Colts in the AJC Derby of 1944, and it was 38 years before another filly won our Derby, and that was the great Rose of Kingston in 1982. Last couple have moved in, and the starter's on his stand now, and they appear to be set for a start. In the Tea Rose, the gates open and they're off and running, and Paris missed the inside, jumped away smartly. Cyranouche jumped okay, but immediately dug in the toes and tails out a distant last. Sail to Success bounced out in front of Glenview. Paris Miss is going to settle in the box seat on the inside, followed by Pagan Dance. Research trapped 3 and 4 deep in the early part, and then Treetop Creek and a gap to Southern Express. Further back in the field then is Chalier, who's last of the main bunch. Trappings just in front of those, and right out of touch is Cyranouche at the 1,000 mark, and this leader has cleared out. Sail to Success raced away, opened up a lead of 8 lengths on Paris Miss and a half to Glenview on the outside. A length away, Research, followed closely then by Pagan Dance and Treetop Creek. A gap of 5 or 6 lengths to Trappings and Southern Express, followed by Chalier, and Cyranouche can't stay in touch with them. The field is spread out over a lot of territory, and it's Sail to Success about 6 or 7 in front of Paris Miss. A length away, Glenview, hard ridden as they near the turn. Research is also under pressure, starting to work her way into the race, followed by Pagan Dance on a long gap to Treetop Creek. On the turn, Sail to Success is coming back to them quickly, is about to be collared by Paris Miss. Glenview and Research has made up her ground very quickly on the outside. Into the straight, and Research and Glenview go to the lead together. Research has hit the front, coming to the 200 mark. Research and Glenview have come away. They're clear of Pagan Dance, who's running on well. Now it's Dittman and Marshall. They go for the whips together, and this is a sight to see. The 2 top jocks and the 2 top fillies. Research, Glenview. Research on the outside, Glenview. It's Dittman throwing everything at Research, and the Enforcer got her there narrowly. Research has won it ahead to Glenview, and about 5 lengths away, Pagan Dance, followed by Paris Miss. Then Treetop Creek and Southern Express, followed by Chalier. Trappings has Sailed to Success, and tailed off is Cyranouche. Well, it was grand to see those top jockeys ride over the last 200 metres of battle royal between Mick Dittman and Johnny Marshall, and 2 good fillies, Research and Glenview, and the Enforcer. Mick Dittman has been able to get Research home narrowly, and it's a winning treble to Mick in consecutive races. Research to pay $1.35 and 65. Glenview on the place tote to return 60. Which one third? Pagan Dance will get third. That was TAB number 6 on the place tote, $1.45. Ken Banjo Patterson said it. It was grand to see those mountain horsemen ride, wasn't it?
John, I saw the touch of A.V. Patterson in you there. It was grand to see these 2 great jockeys ride. And look at Dittman. He knew he had to make up his ground before the turn. I backed the second filly, but he's riding great, Mick. 3 in a row to Tricky Mickey. And he's as good a rider as you'll see in a day's march, or probably in a week's march. And there he comes back very wet. And of course John Marshall did nothing wrong on the other one. Perhaps Mick caught him a fraction napping coming to the turn, but John was nursing his filly, and as good as Mick rode, well, Jay Marshall rode pretty good too. I don't often hand out accolades as easy as that, but they're two great jockeys and 3 races in a row to Mick Dittman. That was race 5 here at Rosehill. The rain's still pelting down. 3 to go. Only 3 runners in race 6, and the winner does look like number 2, Never Quit.
Good, Kenny. OK, 3 runners in the next a race at Rosehill. The Shannon Quality, prize money $50,000 and only 3 runners. Quite amazing. Here's the winner coming back to scale. OK, in a moment we return to Sweden for more of the Mr. Olympia competition.
Yeah!
Well, time to cross out to Rosehill for the soggy 6th. And Johnny Tapp, I think I've just about given up. Only 3 runners in this race, but a protest in the last. Bring us up to date.
Max, I thought you were going to tip me Magnetic Island there for one horrible moment in this 3-horse race. He's at 4,000 to 1. You gave me an awful fright. Yes, protest upheld on the previous race. A pity in a way, not a pity for those that backed Glenview, but it ruined a lovely scenario. The 2 jockeys staging that memorable duel, and John Schreck had to come along and ruin the scenario by upholding the protest. But Glenview's backers cheered loud and long, Ken, by the same token.
Yes, John, I lost a protest last week and got one today. After hearing all the evidence, I thought it'd be dismissed. But anyway, John Schreck apparently put a lot of bearing on in coming from 4 wide on the home turn to only 2 wide shortly after straightening. Anyway, that was the last race. 3 runners here, as Johnny told you. We won't worry about the scratchings. Never Quit, about 2's on in the ring. 85 cents at the moment on the tote. Roby and Steel $1.30 for 50. That's just a fraction better than 6 to 4. Magnetic Island should be the price Johnny quoted at 4,000 to 1, but he's only 15 to 4 on the tote. $2.40 for 50 cents. I think there are a lot of brave people backing Magnetic Island. He hasn't run for 3 years, and he's taking on 2 top-grade sprinters. John, they must have more money than sense.
Righto, mate. Thank you. Yes, Magnetic Island is a 7-year-old and he's obviously been very unsound. It's his first run in 3 years today. Mind you, he can gallop, or he could gallop back in his heyday, because his last run before breaking down was in the Warwick Farm Spring Cup of 1985, and he actually won that race, beating Heroic Blaze, and his form before that was pretty good too. Now, the 3 of them are about to walk into line for the Shannon Quality. Never Quit has moved up. Magnetic Island goes up into his stall. First run in 3 years today, Magnetic Island, and Robbie and Steele will be the last one in. Robbie and Steele moves into line with Peter Cook on board, and now the stage is set for the running of the Tooheys Light Shannon Quality, named after a great horse of the 1940s. All set. Magnetic Island is laying right back on the gate. He's giving a lot of trouble. Never Quit getting upset as a result of it. Now they're off, and Magnetic Island about half a length behind the others as they bounded out of the barrier, and Peter Cook is in front early on Robbie and Steele, but he's not desperate to be there, and he's got a strong hold of that horse. And soon after, Wayne Harris allowed Never Quit to stride up on the inside and take a narrow lead over Robbie and Steele, who's keen to go faster. Cook having a job settling that horse at the moment. Now he's able to get him back to the quarters of Never Quit, and about 4 lengths away last is Magnetic Island, facing the starter for the first time in 3 years today. Never Quit under a strong hold at the 1,000 mark, pricks his ears in front, and he's enjoying his Saturday afternoon stroll. Never Quit about a half length to Robbie and Steele on the outside, and 3 lengths away is Magnetic Island as they go to the 800 mark, and Never Quit going 3/4 pace at the moment by a half length on Robbie and Steele, and 2.5 to Magnetic Island, who's in touch with them at the moment, but they'll start to sprint now as they come to the 600 mark, and Never Quit a half or 3/4 to Robbie and Steele. Magnetic Island is still 2.5 lengths behind them as they near the turn. Never Quit with the inside running, just led Robbie and Steele, and 2.5 to Magnetic Island, and there's no change as they straighten up where Never Quit is the leader. Harris goes for him now, and Never Quit pinched a length on Robbie and Steele. 2 away Magnetic Island, who's run a tremendous first up race. 300 out, Never Quit is the leader. Robbie and Steele under the whip now, wants to duck in behind the leader, and Never Quit has raced clear with 100 left to go. He loves the soft ground, Never Quit, and here he is to the line, a son of Sir Tristram, and he's going to round off a big week for Wayne Harris as Never Quit canters home to win the Shannon Quality by 5 lengths to Robbie and Steele, and a similar margin to Magnetic Island, who acquitted himself well at his first start in a long, long time. Never Quit, Wayne Harris has won the Shannon Quality and rounds off a big week for Wayne, who won the Winfield Gold Cup at Newcastle on Eye of the Sky on Wednesday. Never Quit to pay the only dividend, of course, 75 cents. one of the smallest of the Sir Tristram breed, Ken. Normally they're big course horses, but he's a lovely little horse.
Yes, John, he won this race last year, as we said. He's also won the Prime Minister's Cup over a middle distance, so he's a versatile son of Sir Tristram. He's won on a slow track before, and well, that was just a trot and canter for him all the way. He won easily from Roby and Steel. And Magnetic Island, well, he did run a better race than we all thought, but he still got beat about 10 lengths or so. That was the story of race 6. Hello, I tipped that winner. I've tipped about 3 here today. Let's hope I can make it 4 in the next race with the Tommy Smith trained imported horse, number 8 Brentano, as we see Never Quit going to the post to win the Shannon Quality for the 2nd year in succession.
Wayne Harris, as I mentioned, has had a big week. He rode a treble at Newcastle on Wednesday, including the Cup, and he's home here on Never Quit in the Shannon Quality. I just wonder how much longer Wayne can keep ravaging his body the way he has been. However, he's got a chronic weight problem. I spoke to him after the Newcastle Cup on Wednesday. He told me that on Tuesday evening he sucked an orange. That was his total dinner. He had a glass of soda water at breakfast time on Wednesday morning, and nothing else went into his stomach up to and including Newcastle Cup time. He was going out to have a small fish dinner on Wednesday night, and he said he might even let the hair down and have a glass of beer. The forgotten hero of Australian racing, the first apprentice to ever win the Golden Slipper in 1979 on Century Miss, an absolutely brilliant apprentice rider and a wasted talent. His opportunities are sadly restricted because of weight, and I just really wonder how long he can keep punishing himself the way he has been of late. But quite sad when you think about it. Absolutely wasted talent. OK, next on Wide World of Sports, more show jumping from Hickstead.
Gentleman Johnny Tapp always has the right words for the occasion, so maybe Latest Word has a bit of a chance in this one, Tappy.
Latest Word loves rain-affected ground, Max. I just don't know that he's quite the horse he was. This time last year, he won 4 on the trot, I think, at one stage, and he just never, ever ran a bad race. He's put in a couple of curly ones just lately, and he mightn't be quite as genuine as he was, but you can never sell him short, Ken, under these conditions. Latest Word.
No, John, he's very well weighted. I gave consideration to saving on him. I certainly wouldn't laugh at the tip. Let's look at these prices. Grillette is a stablemate of Latest Word. It's at 10 to 1. Blandford Park was scratch. Maxie's tip, it's 6 to 1. Latest Word. Not quite 6 to 1. It's about $3.45 on the tote. Paris Pride is at 8 to 1. Flaming Road, a clear favourite, 5 to 2 on the tote, round about the same price with bookies. China Garden at 14 to 1. Best Report at 20 to 1. Brentano, he's my tip. You got Mick Dittman, he's already ridden the treble, and Brentano is in a little bit, making him about 6 to 1. He's almost into 6s. Proudly Born, Peter Cook's mount, is at 9 to 1. Whiskey's Gem getting out to about 8 to 1. Craig Carmody's mount, he's a good tip here at Rosehill. 66 Solivari, 16 Galactic Warrior, 40 Essential, 80 Sir Bijou. My kind of girl, she's scratch, she usually is. My tip, Brentano, a Mick Dittman mount, around about 6 to 1 on the tote. And the number 1 race caller, he's never at 6 to 1, it's Johnny Tapp.
Good, Ken, thank you. And they're starting to spill into the gates for this. Boxing fans, you might remember a story we had on Wide World of Sports 6 or 7 weeks ago about a young 18-year-old boy in Victoria, Scotty Brower, who was making a name for himself in the super bantamweight division. I'm very pleased to report that tomorrow night at the Preston Town Hall in Melbourne, young Scotty fights Richard Riley for the Australian super bantamweight title. There's a great support bill as well, 5 fights in fact on the program. Lee Thomas is promoting it at the Preston Town Hall, commencing at 7:30. I've taken a personal interest in young Scotty Brower since having met the boy in Melbourne at around about the time we did that story. And Scotty, if you're watching the show, and I know you do, good luck in your title tilt in Melbourne tomorrow night. I know you can do the job. OK, well, they're biding their time getting in here, so why don't we pick up the action? Race 8 at Moonee Valley. The race was called the famous Grouse Handicap.
Pelatinsky joined by Toyd in the lead, and they're just in advance now. Bronze Knight is joining in with a good run, followed by Best Time looking for a run. Here's Foamy Ocean, pulled out 4 deep to make his run. He's finishing well, and back behind them over on the outside, Sea Swell. Foamy Ocean has taken the lead halfway down the straight from Toyd, battling on well. Then Pelatinsky, followed by Best Time, starting to fly home, but it's Foamy Ocean in front. Foamy Ocean will gain the day. Foamy Ocean has won it, tight for second and third.
Foamy Ocean, the winner at Moonee Valley. He whipped around them 4 deep as they turned for home. A little short straight at Moonee Valley. A very short run home, and you've got to be with the leaders on the turn, or it's a case of last round the bend's a rotten egg. Now, the last couple have moved into the stalls and they're all set and ready to run as the starter mounts his rostrum. Best Reporters in the gates and away they go. Solivari from the inside stall is about the first out, headed straight away by Brentano. Grelette began well and Whiskey's Gem is striding towards the lead early. Essential not too far away and right up there with them when they get going is Galactic Warrior, followed by Paris Pride. Midfielder's latest word, China Garden out deep, and then Flaming Road, Best Report, Sir Bijou, and dropping out last is Proudly Born. To the back now, 1500 metres out, and Essential just led but is headed off now by China Garden, and the conspicuous red and yellow colours of China Garden take over as they go down the back. The horse is pulling hard in front and led by a half length to Essential. Running third is Grelette on the outside of Whiskey's Gem, and then Paris Pride, followed by Brentano on the inside of Flaming Road. A length or so to Solivari, and then Latest Word, and further back Galactic Warrior, followed by Sir Bijou, and Best Report is back towards the tail of the field in company with Proudly Born. 1,000 metres out, China Garden led, quickening the tempo now by a little more than 2 lengths on Essential. Paris Pride on the outside, moving quickly into second spot, and then Grelette, followed by Brentano. Flaming Road is moving up. Whiskey's Gem got shuffled back a bit there, and then Solivari, Latest Word, Galactic Warrior, Sir Bijou, Best Report, and Proudly Born, and now they're packing up tightly. 700 metres out, China Garden led over Paris Pride, Essential, and then Flaming Road and Brentano, followed by Grelette. Well back as they come to the turn. Latest Word from Solivari. Whiskey's Gem is under heavy pressure. A gap to Best Report, followed by Sir Bijou, Galactic Warrior, and Proudly Born. But around the corner now, and China Garden is the leader over Paris Pride and Brentano. Flaming Road on the outside is running on well, and then Essential. Sir Bijou was badly hampered over on the inside. In the straight now, Flaming Road has rushed up on the outside to head Paris Pride and China Garden. Latest Word is coming home hard. Flaming Road drew clear though. Wayne Harris looking for the double. Paris Pride in second place, and then Latest Word, but Flaming Road revelling in the going is too good. He's drawing away, and what a week for W. Harris. Flaming Road beat Latest Word. Solivari has run third. Close up Proudly Born, Paris Pride, Brentano, and then Whiskey's Gem and China Garden, Sir Bijou, Grelette, Best Report. Well back came Essential, and last is Galactic Warrior. What a week for Wayne Harris. Flaming Road, W. Harris the winner. I just can't tell you how pleased I am to see the run of luck Wayne Harris has had this week. Talk about deserving it. He was overdue. Flaming Road is going to pay $1.70 and 80. Second will be Latest Word on the place tote to pay $1.35, and Solivari I think will get third, number 11, and he'll pay $7.50. Ken.
Yes, John, he was never going to lose. He was far too good. Look at him stride away, Flaming Road. It's his stablemate Latest Word who gets into second spot. Paris Pride and Solivari are the other two there. Paris Pride in the bright green, Solivari in the red. And you might see Proudly Born. There he comes. He came from absolute last to be beaten about a length for second. Nice run, Proudly Born. You remember him. You'll probably see him in at the Provincials. But the horse in the city was Flaming Road, and he got the cash. One to go here at Rosehill. I've selected Prudhoe Bay. He had no luck here last week. I think he might do a lot better today. The big tip on track 2 is for Lord Valrigo.
Good, Ken. Funny thing, you know, over the years, I've noticed that the progeny of certain stallions, almost without exception, can handle rain-affected ground effectively. And Whiskey Road is the sire of Flaming Road, and the number of Whiskey Roads that I've seen either win or race well in heavy ground is quite amazing. One of them was Strawberry Road, of course, the great Strawberry Road, who won an AJC Derby in 1984 under the most atrocious conditions you've ever seen in your life at Randwick. Well, Wayne Harris, a winning double, a treble at Newcastle on Wednesday, 5 winners in a week, including the Shannon Quality and the Winfield Gold Cup. And if there's one man, regardless of what he backed in the race, if there is one man that wants to do anything but clap and cheer when Wayne Harris comes back on this one, well, that man is a dead set narc. Next on Wide World of Sports, more show jumping from Hickstead.